Good evening, everyone. It's 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday, and it means one thing. It's Spiritual Talk. Hi, everyone.
And welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie, you've kindly agreed to step in for the lovely Jane, haven't you?
I have. Yes, we're missing you, Jane, already.
We are. I hope you're well, Jane. I hope building work is going well over in Canada. But Jane will be back this time next week. But we're going to have some fun, Debbie, aren't we?
We are. We're going to cause some trouble, no doubt.
Okay. You heard that here first. Okay. But tonight we are going to work later as well, aren't we? We're going to work on the messages as well for people.
Yeah.
And some people may recognize you, but I want to kind of let people know what you're doing, your new project as well. Again, we'll do that towards the end if that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
So again, we've got another great guest on this week, and I'm super excited to get this lovely lady on. I'm not going to do this any justice. I kind of want to apologize before I pronounce her name, but Helen, and I will do her full name at the end. Helen is not only a medium, she's a holistic therapist. She also holds a CSNU certification. She's a transformational coach and so much more, and probably more stuff that I haven't mentioned. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me introduce Helen Van Hooft. Did I get that right?
No.
Oh, I've been practicing as well. I'm so sorry. Apologize to your lovely husband. Is it Hooft?
My name is Helen Van Hooft.
Hooft. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll just. You mind if I just call you Helen for this time being?
Absolutely fine with me.
Welcome to Spiritual Talk, Helen. Thank you for my poor pronunciation, putting up with my anyway, let's move on. Helen, how did you become a medium? How did you get into mediumship?
Well, I think it was officially when I first went to the Arthur Finney College. That's when I became aware of the official, what a medium is, as opposed to working intuitively and psychically. So my first time at the Arthur Finney College was a huge revelation, I think, for me. But if I backtrack and think about life and sort of experiences and happenings, and I can probably say when I was a little girl, one with my imagination, constantly playing, making up games, I think from a very young age, I think probably 3, 4, I was aware, but not consciously aware if that's what or who or whatever. It was just something a bit natural, what I was doing, away with the fairies, all of those terms you can apply. But it wasn't, like I say, until I went to the Arthur Finney College that I was like, oh, okay, that's the name for it. I mean, I'd had a couple readings from a medium, but then not as opposed to what you're taught at the college, if you understand what I mean. So it's something that it always held a fascination for me. There was always that side of me where I had that knowing about, or a sense about people. Perhaps I didn't know what it was that I was sensing or what I was picking up. I knew that some people I would be attracted to, not just like, oh, they intrigued me, I wanted to know more, or there were people that could repel me and I didn't understand why that was either. And I also had this several times I can think in my life, you know, that things fell out of my mouth, and people would be taken aback by it, and I would think, oh, what did I just say? Or, you know, and just all through life, sort of those happenings, especially, you know, going through a bit of a rebellious stage when I was a teenager, you know, drinking, barriers come down, your awareness goes up, and you just end up saying these things. And I would, you know, perhaps say things that you shouldn't, or, you know, just so that there was a lot of that, I can remember sort of incidences in the childhood with my parents that shocked my parents. And again, I didn't know perhaps what I was saying at that time, but I can remember.
Did it frighten you?
No, it's never frightened me.
Oh, that's great.
Never. I've never, because obviously there's a lot of people that believe there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of dark, and of course you can't have light without dark. We know that. But I think if you don't go looking for it, I don't know. But I just think that's never been something for me. That's never, for me, that's not spirit world. That's something other. That's something perhaps a construct of someone's mind, or you know, there's some kind of leftover something or other there, and that's where they're coming from. But for me, I can't remember being afraid of any of it. I'm just intrigued. I want to know more.
Yeah.
You know, and it, again, at the college, a tutor at the college said, you know, for every question they have answered, there's like 20 more questions that come behind that.
Yeah.
And I think that succinctly put what I've naturally feel, not just about the spiritual practice or spiritualism, but life in itself. I think is always good to be intrigued and curious, because then you get the good stuff rather than being anything other.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
many people though are attracted to the fear aspect of what we do. They love to be frightened. They fear it. That nervous energy as well. And it's a shame, because spirit only come in love. I mean, do you find that a lot?
What, that people come to me in fear, or
fearful of your messages you're giving, you know, with the communication that you have, you know, do you find a lot of people have that fear?
Yeah, and I think people also are very, you know, if they haven't had a good relationship with either their parents or a friend or whatever, you know, they're like, when you say, oh, I've got, say for example, they had an abusive relationship, you know, that I have your father here, and immediately from that I would sense, oh, okay, there's a bit of a code, I guess, that they're sort of a bit stand backish, and that tells me, okay, there was a problem in this physical life. So immediately I would say he's making me aware that there was some difficulty within your relationship when he was alive here. And but I don't want, it's okay. This is about your healing and his healing. If you want me to continue, fine. If not, but it's not a one-off. People believe, and it's true, a lot of their personality has to remain the same in the spirit world. Otherwise, we wouldn't recognize them when they give us a message or contact for a medium here. But you know, they want to make it right for the living. It's first and foremost, I believe. I could be wrong, but you know.
Yeah. Do you find that one of the hardest things for mediums to master is that tactful, gentle, knowing when to step forward, when to step back with the person they're talking to? There's a real skill, isn't there, an art to knowing how to present the information. I found that some people are very gifted and natural with it, and others when they're learning it. And I noticed you're a trainer, you're a teacher in this field. So I wanted to know what you thought about that element.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also firmly believe that there's a lot of people that are working as mediums, healers, psychics, intuitives, that they don't know where they stop and spirit or whatever, or the person in front of them begins, and they begin to say things perhaps that are, they think is pertinent, but aren't perhaps in the best interest of the person that's sitting in front of them, and they layer something else that that person then has to work through. I'm sure all of us in this room, we've had an experience of being on the receiving end of that. And I think that that's our duty if we're going to do this. When we're when people come to us, often they are vulnerable, they are hurting, they are in some kind of mental, physical, emotional pain, that we have that responsibility to do it in the best way possible, that we don't exacerbate their pain in any way, that we have that responsibility, that we're empathic, but we don't take it on, and at the same time we give them the tools to make their own life better. We're not responsible for making their life better. They have to do that themselves.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And in fact, I noticed some of the reviews on how that you present some of your work to people. And I just want to quote this. She was well prepared and attentive to my needs. She read me using psychic intuition and evidence-based mediumship. Helen brought up details that deeply supported her connection to my loved ones. She was open to walking me through any questions, comments, and concerns. I felt very safe and well attended. All in all, she handled me with great care, and I cannot thank her enough. And I think that is something so beautiful. Great care. She handled me with great care, and I cannot thank her enough. I think that's so beautiful, how we handle the clients that come to us. I don't know how Paul feels about that, but I think
I think that's probably one of the best questions that's ever been asked on Spiritual Talk in the 18 months I've been doing this show. And you picked up such a brilliant point, Helen. There is a point where mediums don't, how much of them is going into that message, their own experiences, and rather than, it's laid, isn't it? And that's the last thing you want, is having that experience with someone. Like you said, they come to you in a vulnerable position. Our job is to give them proof and a level of healing as well, that life, it continues. So, but then to give them another aspect of ourselves as well. I was always taught there, with everybody that came and sat before you, there was always something from them that could actually help you, or within you, that you would resonate with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I believe in the intelligence of spirit world, and the fact that, the people that come before you, you've got something to give them, but also it's a two-way street. So they will be giving something to you back, whether that is, being a medium doesn't exonerate me from some tough stuff in life. You have to go, for me, not only do I talk it, you have to walk it as well.
Yes, you do.
And I believe that then gives you the power of empathy with those that seek your service. So that, don't step into it, but there's a way that you can perhaps give them a hand up out of wherever it is that they find themselves, or, as one of my tutors from the college, Simone Key, has always said, the bedrock, the foundation of mediumship is healing. And I totally agree with her on that. That it should be for the betterment of whoever comes to you. They should walk out of the door feeling better. I'm, some of my clients in the past have been very emotional. I can do emotions. That doesn't faze me if somebody is tearful or emotional. That's okay. But there's a difference between being emotional because I've tripped something within their soul that is going to then perhaps give them some kind of healing or feel better about their father, grandfather, sister, whatever in the spirit world, than damaging them. There's a difference between those tiers, and that for me is something that I want to come from, is the healing rather than look how good that contact was.
Yeah, absolutely. There is also you've got a YouTube page, haven't you, Helen?
Yes, a bit dormant though, Paul.
No, but there's a couple of good. I love what you did about 3 or 4 years ago. Tea, cake, and conversation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lovely!
It is brilliant, and there's a fantastic interview on there with Simone Key.
Yeah,
and she's a wonderful medium. And
she's great.
Her is it really interesting? Again, her talk on guides was so right. And if you want to know about guides, have a look and listen to Simone's interview with Helen. It is brilliant. Okay.
Thank you.
And you'll really enjoy it. Yeah, hopefully you'll do some more of those because they were great. And I would tune into those.
Really? Well, I'm being nagged by a certain someone that is not sat too far away.
Yeah.
To pick that back up again.
Absolutely, because I love that. It's just you feel like you're sitting at that table having a cup of tea.
Yeah.
A cup of tea.
And my friend, bless her, she came over to see me from England. She came over for a weekend and I roped her in for one as well, talking about the hospice and palliative care.
I saw that. I did be honest, I did see that as well. But that's an interesting aspect, and I know that's a point that you wanted to pick up on, Debbie, wasn't it?
What was that? The spiritual?
No, the positive death movement that Helen's involved in.
Oh, yes, the positive death movement side of it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This intrigued me because you're very passionate about this.
Passionate about death. That makes me sound like I'm...
Oh, no. Well, you're passionate about it because you hold healthy discussions about people's thoughts and feelings around death.
Yeah.
You want people to think of it in a positive light, don't you, rather than in a negative, because a lot of people look at death in a negative way, and you're trying to change that attitude. That's how I understand it. But do enlighten us about the positive death movement.
Well, Paul is already touched on it in the fact that we have a lot of fear. We hold fear, and our attitudes to death and dying have been very fear-based, and I think it might be slightly controversial, but a lot of Orthodox religion has put the fear and damnation of what happens if we don't do certain things about death and dying, and also death can be termed as a medical failure as well, that we keep pumping people through of medicine and, do this, do that, do this. And rather than saying, okay, quality over quantity of life.
Yes.
So that's something that is passionate, that I'm passionate about. And like one of my strap lines for the Death Cafe that I run, Death Cafe is actually an international initiative that was set up by John Underwood years, I think perhaps in the 90s. My memory's not so hot on that. But it was purely because he got fed up with people not talking about death. And it was set up in his living room. And from that, it's held in so many countries around the world. Unfortunately, he passed away very suddenly. But it was something that I could go, this is informal, or it's got cups of tea involved, so I'm in, and it's got cake, so I'm definitely in. I'm there, sold. But not only that, one of my strap lines is that nobody is getting out of this life alive.
Absolutely.
So it's the only thing, you know, people, we don't need to be psychic or intuitive to know that we're going to die, right?
Absolutely.
So it's got to be, we can't control it. None of us particularly know when or how, and that's a lot of fear for people, is how. So when somebody dies, there's about 70 questions your loved one has to answer immediately about what to do, how to do it. So if you have these discussions, if you get the paperwork straight, then you relieve a lot of that stress on those people that you leave behind.
Yeah,
absolutely. Beautiful.
And I'm sure a lot of people will not say this as well, but my dad used to say, just put me in the garden. And the funny thing is, my mum has brought his, he had a plaque, he was cremated. My mum brought his plaque back recently after about 10 years, and she's put it in the garden. So I'm sure he's very happy.
Cool. Well,
and death shouldn't be a difficult subject, should it?
No.
It should be actually a beautiful one, because they've gone home. It's easy for us to say that, we're all sitting here, we're all mediums.
Yeah.
You know, we know that process, but it should be a more enlightening process, or a more happier time, a celebration.
Yeah. And I believe, you know, yes, we are mediums. We know that life goes on beyond this physical existence.
Yeah.
But it does create a physical void. And even as mediums, we have to learn to adjust to that. And I just, for me, like I've said to my husband, my loved ones, I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's like, I don't want to go in a crematorium, because how do you know that's my ashes that are coming back to you? You know, put me on a funeral pyre. Being that I'm an aromatherapist, I want herbs, you know, rosemary, you know, all of these dried herbs. Put that around the fire for me. You know, just let me go back to the ether. Don't put me in an oven, and definitely don't make me worm food, because I don't want that either.
Kerry, condolences to Kerry. She lost her mum recently. But what I did like, Kerry, was the fact that you put some wonderful memories of your mum on Facebook for everyone to see all the lovely things that she did.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And that's how you keep them alive. You know, like my 9-year-old, her Opa, her grandfather, died a couple of years ago. And like she always says, you know, but he's alive in my heart. When we talk about him, I feel him. So, and I think that's the way that we can honor the dead, is we do that. We talk about them.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I must say, actually, Kerry recently, through her own pain, is talking about grief openly to people, to help them face their grief through her own grief. It's rather powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's twofold, because she'll be helped.
Yes.
And she's helping others. So, you know, it's a win-win for Kerry.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's a very powerful thing to do. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Kerry's put thank you.
Oh, bless. Yeah, she's a lovely, lovely person.
So, sorry, go on. No, Debs, you go.
Do you think spirituality is something that makes a huge difference in people's lives as a whole? Because I found it changed my world. It just totally opened up a new world of total peace, comfort, serenity for me. I found it just gave me everything I needed. And there's a lot of people that haven't found it and yet live in a very anxious state. And that's how I was before I found spirituality. So I want to know what spirituality kind of means to you, and how it affected you in the transition of going deeper into it, really. Does that make sense? So, you know, how does spirituality, and what does it mean for you?
Well, for me, there's a difference between spirituality and spiritualism, because spiritualism is a religion. So you're not talking to me about that, so that's okay.
Yes.
So spirituality, I guess my way into that, my introduction to it was through healing.
Yes.
I was in a particularly difficult period of my life, and I went for a healing session. From that, I was invited to go into an awareness circle, and then I sort of trained in healing, if you like.
Yeah.
But it was then in Glastonbury, and it was so then it was like this smorgasbord of crystals and readers and oracle cards, and so there was a period where I was just gathering, and like you say, it opens up something for you, but I think in that process you have to refine what it is your own spirituality.
Yes.
And I think perhaps spirituality, if you take it as a whole, is a massive topic. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge. Yeah. And I'm sure that there's other people that what constitutes spirituality for them perhaps it doesn't buy it for me.
Yes.
So it's different strokes for different folks, but
it is.
I know for me, refining.
Yes.
But like you say, Debbie, it's brought out, if that's the right word, who I am. I'm a lot stronger. I'm a lot. I was always sort of a bit strong, rebellious. Like don't tell me what to do, because I would go and do it just for the sheer hell of it, But it's for me, it's softened, but at the same time, it's strengthened.
Yes, I get that.
And in the darkest times, like last year, it was a bit touch and go from that. They were there, spirit were there, and there was no doubt they were there for me and also for my husband and my family. But for me, it's who I am, being a medium, an intuitive, a healer. It's who I am. It's an expression of who I am. It's not something that I do. That is as much part of me as my spine. I can't remove it. No.
So that's beautiful.
Can I define that then, or try to break that down? So basically, everything you do, you come from your heart.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think because it's really hard to live a spiritual life. I don't want to get biblical about this, but to be what is spirituality? What, like you said, what is spiritual for one person is definitely not somebody else's meaning of being spiritual. For me, I think, and I think we interviewed Leonard Tatt. Hello, Leonard, if you're watching. The lovely Leonard Tatt is such an amazing man with an amazing story.
And a lot of wisdom as well.
A lot of wisdom. And he talks about the expression of the heart and being able to express ourselves. And we are having a human experience. This is my perspective. We do have this human experience, and we're here to learn. But I think in simplistic terms, it's about trying to express through the heart who we truly are. Yeah. But that's difficult, though. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
To learn those lessons. But it really is hard. I'm still, if I'm honest, still looking for the true meaning of to be spiritual.
I think
that's probably something more about me, though, isn't it?
Maybe. I mean, we've talked about fear. Fear is something that really can separate and divide us. Fear can detach us from ourselves. There's so many layers to us. And for me, it's taken me a long time to be able to go, I'm all right, me. Yeah. I'm all right.
Yeah.
And yes, I do come from the heart with whomever I meet in whatever I do. and it's taken me a long time to realize that my vulnerability, because when you come from your heart, you're vulnerable. So my vulnerability is my strength. And what I've learned, especially, is those people that perhaps are less honest about themselves or whatever, I can make them uncomfortable with that, because that it's like, oh, hang on a minute, because I just come up going, hi, this is me. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer honestly.
Yes.
And the trouble is, people go, it can be like I hand them this something really, really scary. But it's just my truth. But people just don't know sometimes what to do with it. And what I've had to work really hard to do is that's okay. What you do, what your response to me is nothing to do with me. That's you. As long as I come at you with my integrity, what is authentic and true for me,
absolutely,
what you do with it is up to
you. Yeah, that's right. And I've learned that imperfections, I remember one of the things I found very difficult was I thought I had to be perfect to be loved, and it came from my childhood.
Yeah.
So what the angels started doing was every time I ordered something or was given something, it got broken.
Yeah.
And they said, until you learn that it's your imperfections that make you perfect, we will keep doing this. I mean, they've stopped doing it now because all I do is glue it and keep it. So I learn that those imperfections, it makes it okay. So exactly what you're talking about, those vulnerabilities that we have actually are quite endearing, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, they're quite endearing. So we're not to hide them.
I think there's something, I don't know what the word is in Japanese. I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows it.
Oh, yes, there is.
When they break the gold, the gold, they make it with gold to make it, beautiful and to highlight the imperfections. And I think that actually we're all imperfect, aren't we? Perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
But I think that can be our strength rather than a weakness.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, but in time they taught me that.
Yeah.
And that made me be more honest with myself and with others.
Yeah.
Without being in fear.
Yeah.
Fear of who I was. So that's so true, Helen, what you were saying.
Yeah. We've got a great question from Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda. Does it make a difference as a medium whether you believe in God or not?
Lovely question.
Okay, in the interest of being transparent, it took me a long time to build a relationship with God. A long, long time. I had a very bad experience with Orthodox religion. So God was never something I considered or perhaps even wanted to consider. And it was, again, at the Arthur Finney College, going into the sanctuary for my first ever spiritualist service, and they were talking about God, and I'm thinking, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
That's really, really honest, really.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, why am I resisting? And I thought, okay, that's about me. That's about my past. Let's list that I guess slowly, that trickle. And now, yes, God is a big part of my life, but I'm not preachy about it. Yeah. And God for me is an energy. It is all around us. We can't be, it's just there. I don't believe in the patriarchal God and a vengeful God or a wrathful God.
No.
Anything like that. God is love. God is all of that good fluffy stuff, that is it's a comfort.
Yeah.
But he can't make us anything other than that imperfection that we are. He can't things, and I believe also spirit world can't do that either, because we are to experience what we're supposed to experience here on this life.
Absolutely.
We are responsible. And like Paula said about being authentic, being vulnerable, heart-centered, that's, and community, supporting one another, the way that we live life. I know I'm on a bit of a soapbox, but supporting one another, that's gone. That it's very rare to build a community, and as an expat, I know also how difficult that is to try and find a niche, because I haven't.
Yeah. So we've got a few more questions coming. We've got another one here from Yvonne. Hi Yvonne. She's asked if she can ask a question. Guys, if you're new to the show, that's the idea. You've got an opportunity to ask some of the fine mediums we have on here questions that you'd always like to know about mediumship or connecting with spirit, anything along those lines. Okay, Ames. Hi, Ames. She's asked, did you always, or no, you could connect to the spirit world?
Well, I think I said it earlier, didn't I, at the beginning? I wasn't aware that that's what was happening. And it was only really, as I said, I sat in awareness circles. But that again wasn't a positive experience for me. It was the Arthur Finney College that kind of tripped that switch, and I walked out of that first weekend going, oh, that's what I am, that's what I can do. And it took me about 18 months before I plucked up the courage to go back.
Wow. Yeah.
So here's a quick question I've got for you, Helen. Someone has asked, and I will come to it in a minute, are their loved ones aware, or our loved ones aware of us here? Are they aware of what we do, what we're thinking, or even thinking of them?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's easy for us to say yes, they are. I mean, I know the answer to that, but Yvonne has asked about whether her dad, will my dad know in heaven I still miss him like mad?
Yes.
I'm sorry about the feedback, guys, as well. We are working on that. I'm not sure where that's coming from, so apologies with that. But simply, yes, they are, spirit are aware. Helen, do you have speakers in the back, on the sides? That's the only other thing that could be. Sorry to do it live on there.
That's all right.
We got a real terrible feedback.
Okay, hang on a minute.
You've got it.
Have I done it?
Yeah, it's done it. It's just stopped. So sometimes if that feed gets too close. So sorry,
I'm
guys.
a technological genius, me.
So kind of getting back to that point, spirit are aware of everything that we do, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and I always believe if you're connected to a loved one, they love you, they can feel everything around you and what you're thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. Hi, Steph. Steph's asked, does anybody else in your family have the gift?
Well, I don't call it a gift.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, lovely.
Because it's a responsibility. It's an ability. I don't call it a gift. But I have 4 children. They're all very sensitive in their own way. And I think, that as they go up through their ages, they kind of leave it alone, which is right. I believe that that's right. They've got to live life, not be concerned so much with communications of spirit. But I mean, they've all in their own way given me confirmation of what and how they can connect to spirit. I believe that my mother is very intuitive, very aware, but it's not something that she wants to explore or expand.
Yeah. So you generally find, though, don't you, somebody within the family will have been able to do that. I was just about to call it the gift. Well, there is somebody. See, I look at it as as a gift, but more as a responsibility as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, when we call it as gift, it's like it's just handed to you, it's given to you. Yes, if you're people seem to think, if you're born a medium, that it's a gift. Really, is it? Because sometimes it can feel like a real pain in the when you, or when you're intuitive and you just want to go out and just have fun, and you're picking up all of this stuff from people, and it's like, and if you haven't gone through some kind of process of being aware of yourself, you don't know what belongs to you and what is there. So you end up sometimes angry or just frustrated or whatever, and I don't think that's a gift. I think it's something that needs to be explored, that responsibility, and developed, and that ability gets stronger as you put your awareness, your attention in it, and your understanding. Then it gets stronger, because it does it does grow or open itself up. Like you said, Debbie, about spirituality, I think more things become open to you, because you become more receptive to whatever is your ability, whatever is your connection to that spirit or spirituality.
That's interesting. Carol's put it down as it's a gift to the person you read for. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, that's a lovely way to think about it.
Yes, it is.
Thanks,
Yeah, it does. And talking about that spiritual, because you're quite passionate about spiritual community, I want to just show a picture to everybody. It's a different type of spirit here. I don't want to give them a false impression, Helen. I don't want to give them a false impression, Helen. She's not an alcoholic.
Okay.
She's not an alcoholic, but she's here celebrating something. Can you see that, everybody? Glass of hand. I want to draw your attention.
This isn't Crime Watch, though, Debbie. This isn't Crime Watch.
This isn't Crime Watch, no. But I've been stalking you, Helen, on the quiet, stalking you.
I've made it. If I've got a stalker, I've made it.
I love that.
But would you like to explain to them what this celebration is? Because I think this is something interesting that people might want to know more about.
Well, that celebration is the woman that is pictured with me is my friend and the secretary of Spiritual Community Without Borders. So we, with my husband who took the photo, we had travelled a fair distance from our home to make a formal, it's called in the Netherlands a stichting, so it's like a foundation, an organisation. Wow. So it's a legal entity, and we were celebrating getting that legal recognition that what we're doing is a worthwhile thing to do. Brilliant. So what that is basically my baby, is Spiritual Community Without Borders. So it's an online community for people that are wanting to expand, explore their spiritual nature. Every month now, we're back up and running. We do a gathering. So that's our word for a divine service. Because for me, we're gathering people.
Yes.
To come in. So as a divine service, there would be prayers, there's healing, there's philosophy and mediumship. I ask for mediums to come in. So we have a guest medium to do that. So next month even, get it right. It's me working with a medium from the USA. Yeah. We also do special events. So tomorrow is our special event. So that's a meditation evening. But those evenings, those special evenings, are going to grow into other things. So that every month there's going to be a bit of a surprise of what we're going to be doing.
Lovely.
There's Death Cafe, of course.
Yes.
There's also something that Linda, my secretary, or the secretary, she loves this word. It's called Kafoom. And this is like coffee on Zoom.
Oh,
So Kafoom. Yeah.
I love it.
And it's basically, I put out a question, and those people that come into the Zoom room come with their coffee or whatever drink they want to do. And we discuss that question or the answers to that question. So this month is, what in your mind constitutes good evidence as from a medium.
Yeah.
Because what makes good evidence for me as a medium may be completely different to Paul. So it's, there's a lot to discuss, and it's just, for me, it's opening people's minds. And also for me, it's getting people, I think, again, this could be a little bit of a thing that's under my skin, is that people shouldn't just be spoon-fed. People should learn and think for themselves. Okay, this means this for me. This is good for me. This is not good for me. Oh yeah, I can go with, that it's just prodding people to think that, no one has the definitive answer for you. You have to answer for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we also do a Kafoom with whom. So we have a special guest. It's a bit like, we would invite them in because there's something that we want to know about them, because I'm nosy.
Right.
And we're launching an assembly. So Anne-Marie Bond, she does Assembly of Spirit Inspirations, and she's invited us, or me, to be a host of that. So that is about philosophy, because I believe in that, speaking mediumship. So, and there's lots of posts that sort of get put on the group most days. So, that's what I do. And it was really born out of frustration, maybe.
I'm just going to quickly share it so people can see it on the screen. Here we go. So,
yep, that's it.
Can you see it? Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you. It was really born out of frustration because, as I said, being an expat, I lost, if you like, my community. I'd, places to work, churches to serve. Right. It was all gone. And being, as mediums, it's like I said, it's that part of me that needs to express itself. And I had nowhere to express that. So I thought, well, I have to create it myself. And so that's really what I've done.
It's amazing.
With the support of Linda, of course.
Yeah. How many people are on board with this now?
Well, we've got a lot of members in the group. I don't know. I can't read that without putting my glasses on.
876. So it's doing really well.
There we go.
It's
really
well.
Doing really well.
And it's all over the world, isn't it? It's not just where you are.
Well, we had a gathering last week, and out of the people that we had, there were over 8 countries represented. So we had America, Madeira, Netherlands, Belgium. Can't think off the top of my head. It would be on that post somewhere. Trying to think, but yeah, I mean, we get quite a nice crew. We have an open platform also. So that's people that are practicing either platform mediumship or platform psychism, wanting to practice their philosophy, speaking, or they're spirit artists in the making, whatever. They have a 10-minute slot or so. Oh, that will tell you in that where the world was. That will tell you.
Oh, really? Oh, have I missed it?
No, go. Yeah, there. In that post there, that will tell you where the countries were.
Oh, wow.
So you've got US, Switzerland, Germany, England, Scotland, Belgium, Netherlands, and Madeira.
Yeah.
But no icon available for Madeira.
So yeah, we do open platform because I think for me, when I was starting out, I had nowhere kind of safe to practice and hone my skills. So to do an open platform gives people the place where they self-evaluate. I won't give feedback. That's so they have to self-evaluate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
important. We have got lots of questions still. I'm going to try and get through. We haven't got long left, so I'm going to try and get through as many as we possibly can.
Okay.
So bear with me. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to ask this question. She said, Maureen says, it's not a trick question. I asked the trance medium the same. Do aliens have a soul? Do you believe in life in other planets?
Well, we don't know everything, do we? We're human. We don't know everything. I wouldn't know. Do I believe that there are lives on other planets? Yes. Personally, yes. But I think that we look for them as some kind of concept, as something similar as to how we are. And I don't think that exists, that, I'm not sure about that. But do I believe that there's other lives out there? Well, what makes us so special to think that we're the only ones that can live in this vast universe full of galaxies and whatever that we can't see beyond what our technology allows us to explore?
Hi, Serena. She's asked a good question. I always get a feeling that loved ones are around me. Can they sense when I am thinking of them?
Yes.
Simply. Absolutely. Lou, hi, Lou. My friend died 12 years ago, but he never comes through when I have a reading. Why do you think this is?
I've got a story I can share that may help Lou.
Yes, please.
Many years ago, I did a reading for someone, a young woman, and I could tell at the end of the reading she was disappointed. So I, being the way that I am, I said, "Oh, you're disappointed in your reading?" She said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Oh, is it because I didn't bring through who you wanted?" "Yes, it's nice to hear from my father, but I didn't want to hear from him." I said, "Okay, well, I don't know why. Don't tell me who it is." I said, "But I don't know why." Anyway, we fast forward, another booking's made. I open the door and I recognize her. I said, "Oh," and get on with the reading. And I was aware of a young man that had taken his own life. And so I brought that through, gave some evidence, which I can't remember. After the reading was done, I said, "That's who you wanted to hear from, wasn't it?" She said, "Yes. I don't understand why it's taken so long for him to come through." And so I posed the question to him, and this answer, really, really clear, came back and said, "Because I wouldn't be able to help her." And I was like, "Right, okay, I'm going to think on that then." And I think what I learned from that was that every interaction from the spirit world is to help us as well as them. And it's not a given that when they die, they're going to contact us, because they've got to work through things themselves over there. They've got to, when they make contact with their loved one here, they've got to be in a position, I guess, where they can help their loved one through whatever their loved one is going through. But at the same time, I also believe that the medium that they go to has to be of that substance that spirit communicator is looking for. There has to, it's not just about the communicator and the recipient. The medium is literally in the middle. And we've spoken about it earlier, Paul, about, the medium they're doing the work. So if they've not done that work on themselves, that perhaps will bring through, like Debbie says, they've get in the way of that message. We don't know. We don't have the answers to everything. But what I would say to Lou is, don't give up.
No, that's
right. There's nothing. It's not because he's in some kind of purgatory. It's not because she or him are being punished in any way. It's just that the times, the whole I don't know what the word is, synergy maybe, of that is not quite as it should be. So don't give up. But please, at the same token, don't spend thousands and thousands of pounds in the search. Just don't want that on my conscience.
Well, actually, I know Lou personally, and I read for her, and interestingly enough, we were talking about this the other day. Apparently I brought through his dog, but not him. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay, sorry guys, I've got so many. We are running out of time. There's a big one here from Bethany.
Oh gosh.
Something come up for me.
I'll get my glasses on for this one.
So I can read it for you if you like. It made me wonder something. Can spirit guides reside within you like a double soul? Do you think it is possible that twin flame souls can live within one physical body?
Why would they? Why would they want to?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to sound flippant. I know I can be very direct. I'm really sorry. No. We're one soul that occupies the body. I don't and twin flames and soulmates, I know that that's a really, really big thing. But I think that you've had a powerful meditation, you've had some kind of experience there. And what our mind is really quick to do is to try and make sense of something that we perhaps don't understand yet. That either we don't have that learning or experience within ourselves, so our mind is grabbing at something, and it's added, 2 and 2 makes 110 in order for it to make sense with us. So perhaps she can make it that it was an experience, perhaps it was a little bit odd for her, perhaps maybe something or other, but I perhaps believe that spirit came so close that it's saying, okay, you have this ability here, you have this potential to feel us. I can remember as I was beginning my development in a really strong way, that I would have these real, almost tangible experiences with spirit world. They were, and it is because it's like, it's not a carrot to keep you walking forward, but it is an experience so you can go, oh wow, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's good. And so you think, oh, okay, this is real, this is something that I can believe in. So just don't allow the physical mind to detract on a beautiful experience.
I mean, I feel it potentially could have been a guide connection, like you're saying, giving her that carrot and allowing that blending between yourself and your guide. That's beautiful. That is a beautiful experience. So, sorry guys, we are running out of time. There is a great question from Debbie as well. Do you want to give that question, Debbie?
Yes, I'd like to know what has been the most magical moment in your journey so far as a medium. So what has been that? It almost an epiphany moment, or a moment that's really made it worthwhile doing the work that you do, because we're of service, and it's like you say, it's a responsibility, it's a but there is a moment of fulfillment that we get, and there's probably something that sticks in your mind that has made it so worthwhile doing what we do.
Oh, okay. it's not mediumship related because I didn't know that I was a medium then.
Okay.
I was working in a hospice, and there was a gentleman that was in the hospice very poorly, very quickly, very poorly.
Right.
And I worked very closely with him because I was asked to. And there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of anger there. And because I talk quite directly, and because I came to him without a title of a consultant or nurse or doctor, I was just a complementary therapist. I worked very closely with him for several weeks.
Yeah.
And I just felt very strongly that I had to go and see him one evening before I was due to go out on the town. And so I did. I drove up, went in, and I'll never forget him or them, and sort of had a twinkle in their eye and said thank you. I said, okay, you're welcome. For what? I'm ready. I've said everything I need to say. I'm not scared. I said, if you feel like you've done everything that you need to do, said everything you need to say.
Wow.
Said,
oh.
And I just,
Oh.
and before my next shift, I took a phone call from the head nurse there because she knew that there was a connection. And she said, Helen, I have to tell you. I said, I know. And just literally about 10 minutes before I was due to get to the hospice, they had gone. They died.
Oh.
But then there was another patient, not the same story, but it was a real transformational, because she'd been told that, several different things from so many people that considered themselves gurus, and just they got me in there because I guess I cut through the nonsense.
Wow.
And her mum, or their mum, was very afterwards that was a huge moment for me, a huge moment about how honest, when you're honest.
Yeah.
But I think working at the hospice, when you talk about a gift,
yes,
those people that work in palliative care in hospice settings, that's
wow,
a gift. That is a real, but it's an honour, a
absolutely.
real honour to work in such.
You have to be a special person to do that job, don't you?
You have to hold space, and that medical, is about a drive to make them well, to do this, to do that. So then palliative care is the opposite. You hold space for them to do what they need to do.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely. So please, guys, check out Helen's website. I've been putting up how to contact Helen if you'd like a reading or any advice. I'm sure Helen would be happy to help you guys. And we can't thank you enough, Debbie and I, for you coming on and sharing this evening with us, Helen. It's been brilliant.
It's been wonderful. Thank you, Helen.
Can I try and pronounce your name again? Do you mind if I try and pronounce your name? So Helen Van Hooft. I've got it wrong. Have I got it right?
You've got it wrong.
Oh, God.
Helen Van Hooft.
Helen Van Hooft, thank you so much for joining us. Please apologise to your husband for getting his name so badly wrong.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's not the first time, won't be the last.
It's been a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Take care.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's a lovely and wonderful woman, and it's been a privilege having her. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to work, Debbie, aren't we?
Oh, we are. We're going to have some fun.
Not sure how we're going to work because you're very much like Jane. You connect with the angels.
I do.
You do bring loved ones through. So
Yes.
it's really interesting. Adam has already shared the link on StreamYard. So you guys should be able to see the little duck symbol coming up. So if you'd like to come in and join us, you're more than welcome. If you believe this message is for you. Or should we do it the same as how Helen and I work?
Yes,
Helen,
that would be great. Oh, you mean Jane?
Jane.
Yeah,
I do mean Jane, not Helen. I've not worked with Helen yet, but maybe, who knows, in the future.
Yes.
Anyway, so we'll get you guys to ask a question. If you want to come in, we'll ask a question, and we'll try and connect with Spirit and give you a message. This is our way of saying thank you. I tell you what, though, what we forgot to do, we forgot to ask Helen to pick someone who's shared. I can see Helen still in the back room.
Is
if I
she?
get her back
Can we
in
bring her
quickly,
in?
yeah, I'm going to get her back in quickly. Helen, thank you for not disappearing straight away.
I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
Typical me, right? We ask people to share the program so it gets out there on Facebook.
Right.
So we can get its wonderful messages out there from Spirit World. Do you mind picking a name from someone who shared? They've won a free half-hour reading.
Okay.
So if you look in the comments, can you see the comments on the right-hand side? Oh,
no.
That might do it then.
No.
Yeah, no, you can't. Oh, bless you. It's normally on the right-hand side, and coming as a guest can be quite difficult.
Hang on. Yes, I can.
Oh,
Yay!
Brilliant. So any name you're drawn to that's shared, that'll be me again because Debbie's a guest and I can't ask her to give a free reading. Yeah.
Oh.
Rhonda.
Lovely. She's just had one
lovely.
with Jane, but we'll offer you a free reading with me, Rhonda, if you want, or you can gift it to someone. That's your delight. Up to you what you want to do with that. I know she had a really marvelous reading with Jane yesterday.
I see.
But can I give it away? Of course you can. Gift it to someone that you love, or a friend, loved one, whoever. We don't mind. Just let us know. Get in touch. It's our little way of saying thank you guys for being loyal and following us and sharing the program. That's what we love. So again, thanks for that, Helen, coming back on. That's awesome.
That's right.
You're more than welcome to work if you like, but a lot of people don't want to. I don't blame them as well because
to work.
Yes.
To do some messages on
Would
here.
you like to answer questions and get involved?
It's so difficult on live because it can be so intimidating because you don't hear the voice, and the voice can help you connect. So
I would never do mediumship on a live.
It is hard. It is really hard.
But you can watch.
I can do psychic, but I know Paul knows what has happened last year, so I just am aware that I've been speaking for a long time. So
I wasn't going to mention it, and it's been fantastic. You've been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I just thank you for the invite, but another time I would do psychic, intuitive, but I wouldn't. My boundary is I wouldn't do mediumship.
Yeah, and it's interesting doing it this way. We generally, this is why we're asking the question. We're going psychic. I know Jane goes straight her communication with the angels, and we bounce in hopefully with spirit. So it can be difficult because I've sat here trying to work with spirit, and spirit will come in. They'll give us the information, but if someone's not listening or they're not taking the information because they're busy watching Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so it can be really difficult.
Yeah, so and like you say, it helps you hearing that voice.
It really does.
It kind of, it's for me, it's like I get that spirit communicator go, yes, that's where I need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Helen. I'm going to drop you out in case I pick up on your energy and start reading you. Okay.
Okay. So do I stay or do I leave?
Yeah, I can sort it out from this end. Okay. But thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So, oh gosh. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay, Helen's now. I feels really bad when you let somebody go out the studio. It kind of
I
feels
know.
you
I
don't want.
know.
Yeah, but such a wonderful
This is like a
lady.
game show, you know. If you remember those boxes where they used to be in the boxes on the game shows, do you remember? They used to ask questions.
Before
This
my
is what it
time.
feels like when you block.
Before
Anyway,
my time, Debbie.
oh, stop it. You spring
Okay, guys,
chicken.
if you got a question you'd like to ask, we're going to connect with you on a psychic link, and we're going to try and bring spirit through at the same time. We'll do what we can do. We'll see
Yes.
where it goes. Okay, we're
Yeah,
just
we're
trying to
excited.
speed it up a little bit, because sometimes when Anthony and I used to connect, we only get 2 messages in half an hour, and it can be a bit slow. So we're trying to get to most of you. Suzanne's put Hollywood Squares, Celebrity Squares, Wanda, Hollywood Squares.
That's
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
That's it. She knew.
Celebrity
She
Squares.
knew.
Yeah, Suzanne's in America. That will be the American version, Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I don't mind that. That's
Yes,
it.
you're on StreamYard. We've shared the link, and also if you're watching on YouTube, and if Adam is watching, I'm going to share it again. If you want to jump in and ask us a question, we'll start that way. I know some of you do have questions. There it is. I'm now going to put the link up again into mine or Jane's YouTube or Facebook. Jane's is Angel Wings Readings. Mine is I think it's my personal page, Paul Bannister, and Paul Bannister Medium. So if you can see it on there, jump in, come and say hello to us, guys, and we'll start reading for you.
Yeah, please come forward.
Yeah, absolutely. What I want to do, though, if I can, because while we're waiting for people to come on, can we talk about what you're doing at the moment, Debbie?
Yeah, of course. Lots going on with me. In the process of writing a book, which will be coming out next year now. I've had a little bit of a pause because so much going on with my spiritual hub. It's a spiritual hub that is for the community, really.
Yeah.
It's got a directory in it. It's got an ability to, it has everything in it from anything spiritual, really, from crystals to yoga to mini master classes, mediumship. It teaches mediumship. That's my angel room. I'm sitting in here at the moment. So I'm the other side of that desk at the moment.
I wanted to show people how marvelous your room is. It really is an experience in itself when you go to visit Debbie at home, and this is her angel room.
That's where people sit and have a cup of coffee, put their feet up.
I've just jumped out of it. Hold on.
Oh,
I just jumped out of it.
I was going to read your messages then.
That was
Yeah, but yeah, that's where I do my readings. Sometimes I do workshops here at my home as well, and have some fun with my clients. But my spiritual hub is something that I'm enjoying. It's my second business that I've started, and it's really to help communities. And funny enough, it's very similar to what Helen was talking about. A lot of people don't know where to go to start their awareness, their awakening, and so that's what it's for. Yeah.
It signposts people into different areas, also educates people. You've also recently been published in a magazine.
It has, yes. In fact, there's another one recently come out with my experience, my near-death experience that I had, because there'll be some that already know about it. They're probably watching, but
we've always wanted to interview you on Spiritual Talk, Debbie, and you've always wanted to run away. You've always wanted to hide. Not a chance, you would say. So to get you on, I've been sitting here pinching myself for a long time, but to have you're here all evening, I've been thinking, Debbie's sitting. I can't believe it. I've managed to talk her into it. But while we're here, it's interesting. No one's jumped on the link. So can we talk a little bit about your near-death experience? Is that okay?
This is a setup. They've all set me
up. Setup, but I'm sure people at home
by the angels. I'm going to have
your story. Yeah, your story is fairly unique.
It is pretty unique. Back in 2007, I was pretty desperate to do my work. I was born as a Christian, really, born into a Christian family. And so they took me to church when I lived in America back in 1982. And I didn't want to go in the church. I was really not keen, but they wrote me into it. And that's really where my religion was. It was Christianity. But in 2007, I basically had a car accident, but I'd asked for it 6 months prior because I wanted to clear all my debts. I mean, how crazy is this? But I was so desperate to do the work for God that I said, if you cause me a car accident, then it can clear all my debts and I can work for you. And in 6 months prior after that, and my son had been really acting weird from October right up to April when I had my car accident, wondering what was going to happen to me. So, basically I came around a corner and straight in front of me was a car coming at me, overtaking multiple vehicles. And there was nowhere for me to go. And everything went in slow motion. And this vehicle hit me head on. And I remember just thinking I'm going to die. It was very, very traumatic. There's no doubt about it. And I had a voice behind me because I was going to go to sleep. And a voice behind me was going, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. And I couldn't see anybody. And I didn't know what it was, but there was somebody shouting at me and kept me awake at the time. The long and short of it is, well, I was taken to the hospital. And they said, if you could walk from here to there, you can go home after I'd had all the tests done. And I got up to walk and I collapsed and was pronounced dead. My heart had stopped, my pulse had stopped. Everything was really quite horrendous. And my son and my husband, who were there at the time, had been pushed away and told, stay back, stay back. Must have been horrendous for them. And I could see myself, I could see my body, I was coming out of it. And I was floating up and I remember my nan and granddad there. Do you want me to continue?
A sec, Debbie. Guys, if you're waiting in the back, we'll come to you in a second. We just want to get this little end of this story.
All right, I'll speed it up. So I'm coming out of my body and I see my nan and granddad. I'm absolutely thrilled. I want to be with them. I don't want to go because it's absolutely fantastic over there. But Archangel Gabriel comes to me. Archangel Gabriel says, it's not your time. You've got to go back, because my grandparents are trying to get me to come back and I wouldn't go back. So Archangel Gabriel sends me back, telling me I've got work to do. And I come back. As I'm coming back, my husband and my son have a voice behind them saying, she's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. He hears the voice, recognizes it, looks behind him, and it's his mother's partner who died 4 years ago in that very hospital. They look at each other, they recognize, and they look back. He's gone. I enter my body. I don't remember entering it. Open my eyes. The nurse holding my hand says, are you okay? Are you okay? And all I say is, St. Mary's Church, Long Sutton, you're a Christian. She says, how on earth do you know that? I said, I don't know. I need a doctor.
Yep,
so there you go. That's all you need to know, guys. Let's do it.
Thank you for sharing that, Debbie. Brilliant. We've got the lovely Serena and Carol. So we'll get Serena in first and we'll come to Carol in a sec. Hi, Serena. Thank you for joining us.
Hi there. How are you? Hi there. Are you okay?
Yes.
Oh, good. I just wanted to ask. I'm waiting for some really important news, but do you possibly know when that could be?
Oh, okay. Oh, you're going to use cards. You're going to cheat, aren't you, Debbie?
Well, what I do is they tell me and then I get double confirmation. That's how I work. So I listen and then I get confirmation. So Paul could probably get the word and I can back it up.
Okay. So, okay, I'm going to connect you. I know I've read for you recently, Serena.
Yeah.
Okay. So it obviously didn't come up. I know I connected with a lot of loved ones, for your partner always seems to get the messages, doesn't he?
He does.
Is he in the room? Because he'll get the message again if we do it this way.
He is. Hang on a minute.
He's now leaving. He's now leaving. He's now leaving the room. Bless him. Okay. So I'm going to connect with you. Okay. Interesting. So your question was around this news, when it's going to come.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't feel it's within the next 3 months. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And I'm connecting on that on a psychic level, very much so.
Yeah.
What does that say? We can't see it, Deb.
Oh, you can't see it. Okay. It's winter, December, January, February. So I back Paul up.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Hopefully that's
Okay. The other thing is, forgive me for saying I brought this up in the reading as well. Do you mind me sharing this?
yeah, of course.
Are you trying for a baby?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I just turned a card over and got pregnancy.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to ask a different question. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. Okay,
you're
guys, we
falling
wish you
pregnant.
all the best. Well, we know what you guys
okay.
will be doing this winter. That's all I'm saying. I think it's past the 9 o'clock watershed, so we're okay, Debbie.
Oh, bless you.
Take care, guys. Thank you for coming on, Serena. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye. Bye. So we got Carol and we got Lee as well, who's joined us in the back there. Let me
Lovely.
just bring in Carol. Hi, Carol. How are you doing?
Hi, Carol.
Hi, everyone. Fine, thank you. Debbie,
Yes.
if an angel brings somebody to you,
Yes.
who there's tragic circumstances and their body hasn't been found, if they're brought to you by an angel, is it a sign that I should be looking into it and investigating it?
Absolutely.
It's different because it's an angel bringing them.
Absolutely. And it also means that they're trying to tell you that they're safe, they're secure, they're in a good place, but they want you to get the message to the family of that person. So have they identified to you who this person is that they've brought to you?
Yeah, we know who it is, and
right.
I have a strange idea of where they could be, but
is it high profile, Carol?
It was, you know.
Yes. So
I
if
think
it's,
you know, Paul, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I just feel as though I'm meant to go further.
Yes. So what it means is if there is, it normally means that there is a murder or there is something behind this situation that needs to be brought to somebody's attention.
It's normally a sense of injustice, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's what I'm trying to say. A sense of injustice or something. That's what I'm being given. As I'm talking to you, I've got Archangel Michael to my right. So I call on my resources and he's saying, yes, basically, we're bringing it to your attention to pursue it further because that's what this soul wants. OK, that's what the soul wants, to get complete peace and rest in on the other side. OK, so there's been some injustice or something's happened that needs to be put to rest.
Yeah,
they need to be found. It's time.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. And the angel will guide you. The angel's coming to you to guide you.
That's what I was wondering, because they came with an angel, you see. And
yes. The angel will guide you. The angel will guide you. Remember that the angel came as a guiding star and guided Jesus, arrived with Gabriel. Okay, so that probably is Gabriel that's coming to you, by the way, that angel, by the way. That's what I've just been told. That's Gabriel.
Fantastic.
All right, that's Gabriel with you. I've just been told.
I'm getting the shivers all over now that I get.
There you go. All right, so it's Gabriel, the communicator.
You.
She's the communicating angel. So she's going to communicate everything you need to bring justice or reason or whatever it is, peace to the whole situation.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're very
welcome, Carol. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
She looked lovely and snuggly in that outfit, Carol.
She did. Yeah.
I don't blame her. It's starting to get chilly here. It was only a few weeks ago. It was boiling hot, wasn't it?
I know. It's
crazy.
Just switched, doesn't it?
Stephanie Louise has asked a question. I have been told I'm a crystal child, and so is son, and so her son. What does it mean? Crystal child.
Well, they're very spiritual, crystal children. They're very, very spiritual. Basically, you're very intuitive, and you are here to make a difference within the world. You're a light worker, okay? And there'll be a closer definition to it. If you want to get more definition, you can Google it if you want to. But what I will say to you is you are a gifted soul. You're sensitive, and you are here to make a difference within the world with gifts that you naturally possess. So you've already got gifts that you need to be using. Now, you probably already sense things and feel things as a crystal child, and you will feel different. You may not even feel like you belong here. So you're feeling that difference, okay, as a crystal child. But don't worry, it's a gift. It's not to make you feel uncomfortable. It's a gift. And you can find out more about it if you Google it on the web, okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to get Lee in and then maybe have chance, or I don't know. We'll see how we're going for time because we're running out of time. So sorry, guys. It's gone so quick this week. Hello, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
You are live. No swearing. Not that I don't know that you're going to do that. I'm just saying, no swearing.
Swear? No, I do, but not here. That's fine.
Okay.
Just a quick one. In regards to when you said spirits come through when they're needed or when they can do the most.
Absolutely.
I did my first spirit board with my partner.
Right.
And I was, for the whole of the day, I was thinking of my friend and, you know, miss him, you know, what would he think of the whole situation? And I started getting messages from him.
There you go.
And it was quite personalized as well, because some of the stuff he came out with was no one would, you know, and I had to explain the whole situation, what he said. Do you think this is something I should go for more?
Yeah.
I know I've had this conversation with Paul about doing more, but
yeah. He don't listen, no, Debbie. He doesn't listen.
He doesn't listen. Oh, he might listen to me then. So I'm going to tell you 100%, 100%. What you're starting to do is what we call awaken, okay? Because you're calling on, and the whole point of awakening is to connect to source, to your inner divinity that is naturally connected to source. So that's what mediums are doing. They're connecting to source, whether that be spirit, God, Jesus, ascended masters, whoever it is over the other side. Okay, so not on the earth plane, over the other side. So you have now activated by believing in connecting with him. You have allowed that to start happening, which is so exciting.
So it was quite strange because going to the evening out, because we went on a ghost hunt, and I could almost smell his aftershave.
That's
and I was like, I know he's going to be there. And then when he put one of the messages off, which was writing the name, it was just,
there you go. And so he's opened up your smelling, you've got smell, taste, hearing, sensing, knowing. There's all these clairs. And he's already opening up something. So that's remarkable. I mean, how quick. So now that you're aware of this happening, I would highly recommend you getting involved with a trusted medium like maybe Paul Bannister, who can develop your gift. Is there another one? Does he know another one?
I was going to say, Lee, also, are you being tickled with your beard?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's him. I've just been told that's him.
There you are.
Yeah, probably. Thing is, the moment I said I could smell his aftershave, I could smell his aftershave. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So he has ways of communicating with you now.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
People don't realise, but people don't realise, Debbie, how close spirit are to us.
To them, absolutely.
Lucy's just asked as well. Lucy's just coming in. My mother passed away in August this year. Now, Lucy, I will say, because we are running out of time, I do apologise. Look for the synchronicity, and to pick up on Lee's point, they're so close to us. You know, and they're around us. And as soon as we connect to them and look for those, I can't remember who it was now, we had on the show. I think it was Karen Francis McCarthy, who was talking about those when we're not doing anything and those thoughts come into our mind of our loved ones. That's their way of penetrating our mind when we're not thinking about them. So look for those, look for all the little synchronicities, the signs, they will be there. And especially if mum's just passed as well, there is this process over there for them, but they will try and connect with us. Spirit will try and show us signs.
And she will want to come as a robin, Lucy. I feel that it's a robin. She's going to want to come close to you as a robin because it's a very simple, easy way. When she's passed so soon, it's a simple way of coming to you. I'm getting robin in my head. I'm seeing a robin. So watch for the robin. If you haven't already seen it, I feel that's what she's trying to come to you as, so that you know she's not far from you. Okay?
Yeah, fantastic. Lee, thank you for coming on.
No worries.
Yes.
See you both
Come
later.
back again soon, mate. Take care.
Right, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Lee.
Bye. Debbie, can I just say a big thank you for coming on and supporting us today?
Oh, you're very
been brilliant
welcome.
fun.
I've loved it.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
it's been brilliant. Don't go, because I want to kind of see you at the end as well. Okay. You're not in trouble. Don't worry. There's no school report.
I hope not.
Mine was always, Paul's a lovely guy, but could always try better or harder.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, that's right. That was my report.
Suzanne's put, every time I say that, it makes her feel better. Brilliant. Because spirit are so close to us. They are so close. There is this, the veil is getting thinner. It really is. It kind of really
is.
It's interesting. It's always around this time of year as well, because we're coming up to Halloween. There is certainly something within that. Okay. Everyone's putting, come on again. Thank you. Great show.
Oh, that's lovely.
Serena, Stephanie.
Glad they enjoyed it.
Awesome. Carol's put, mine was talk too much. That was her school report.
Talk too much. You need to get her on.
Absolutely. So Debbie, what next for you? We always ask everybody that comes on, what next for you?
Oh, I've got so much going on just with what I'm doing. I think I've got enough, Paul. I just building up the spiritual hub will be enough for me. And I hope that does really well. I didn't get to America this year, which I really hoped for. So maybe next year I'll get to go to America and see some of my wonderful clients out there. But
beautiful.
I'm not sure what will happen. Other than that, I'm going to get some sleep.
In your suitcase, awesome.
Yeah, come with us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm not sure Dave will have the same same idea. Anyway,
he'll come with us.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're back next week. We'll have another wonderful guest, and Jane is back next week, so I can't wait for that. And Debbie, thank you so much, guys. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.